Good morning, Virgo. Something has never been said before. Not by this person to anyone. Not in this form. Not with this quality of honesty and completeness and the specific, unguarded vulnerability of someone who has arrived through whatever path brought them here at a place they have never stood before. A place that required you, that was only ever going to be reachable through the specific experience of knowing you and being known by you and arriving through that knowing at a version of themselves that is capable of something they were not capable of before. They are about to say it, the thing that has never been said, not because the right moment finally arrived from outside. Those moments do not arrive from outside, because something inside them has finally reached the threshold that the saying requires. The specific, this is who I am now threshold of someone who has been changed genuinely, structurally, by the experience of being in your life, and who is about to give that change its voice. Take what is yours today. What resonates, let it reach the part of you that has perhaps been wondering whether what exists between you is as singular as it feels. What does not, release it gently. But for those of you who felt something still and slightly breathless move through you when I said something has never been said before, this reading is for you entirely. Let me speak about what it means for something to be a first, because firsts in the emotional landscape are not simply things that have not yet happened chronologically. They are things that were not possible before a specific condition was met, that required the meeting of a specific condition to become available. And the condition, the specific thing that made what this person is about to say possible when it was never possible before, is you. Not as a catalyst who happened to be present at the right moment, as the specific and necessary ingredient, the one whose particular quality of presence reached something in this person that nothing and no one else had reached, and in the reaching produced the conditions for a first soft sigh. You did something to this person, not deliberately, through the simple, unrepeatable act of being genuinely yourself in their vicinity, of bringing the full quality of your attention and your care and your specific way of seeing to the connection between you, of making them feel, perhaps for the first time in this particular and important way, seen, not the surface scene of ordinary social acknowledgement, the full scene, the specific, nothing missed. I see the parts you usually protect quality of being genuinely witnessed by someone who has the capacity and the willingness to look at the full picture rather than the edited version. Being fully seen changes people in ways they cannot always account for, in ways that arrive quietly, not as a dramatic transformation, but as the gradual accumulating. One day I noticed I was different, quality of someone who has been changed from the inside without having made a conscious decision to change, who simply finds, after sufficient time and genuine proximity to something real, that they are more capable than they were, more honest, more willing to inhabit the full dimension of their own experience rather than the managed portion. That is what you produced in this person. The specific, gradual, I am more capable now quality of someone who has been around genuine presence long enough that something of it transferred, who can now do something they could not do before, say something they could not say before, offer something that their previous relationship with their own interior defended, managed, careful about what was allowed, full expression would not have permitted, and what they are about to offer, the never before said thing, is the direct evidence of that change. The most honest report available of what being in your life produced, of what you made possible simply by being what you are. Hear what is forming in them, because Spirit is pressing this voice forward with the specific warmth of something that needs to find its form before the formal expression. I have never said this to anyone, and I want to begin there, not as performance, not as the strategic framing of something designed to maximize its impact, but as the honest acknowledgement that what I am about to say is new territory for me. That I have arrived here at the threshold of saying something I have never said through a path I did not plan and could not have anticipated. Through you, through the specific experience of knowing you and being known by you and discovering in that knowing a version of myself that I did not fully have access to before. What I want to say is that you are the first person who made me want to be completely honest, not the polite, this is what the situation calls for honesty that most relationships run on. The full kind, the kind that requires setting aside the careful management of impression and simply saying what is true about what I feel, about what this connection has produced in me, about the specific quality of what exists between us that I have not found available anywhere else, and have arrived at the understanding finally, past the resistance, that I do not want to lose. I have never wanted to not lose something the way I want to not lose this. That is the most honest version of what I have been carrying. The specific, located, I have assessed this carefully and arrived at certainty, quality of someone who knows the difference between wanting something because it is comfortable and wanting something because it is real. This is the second kind. Real in the full, examined, I have tested this against everything available, and it holds sense of something that reveals more rather than less under close inspection. You are real to me. In the most complete available sense of that phrase, in the this is not a projection or an idealization sense, in the I have seen the full picture, including the complicated parts, and the full picture is what I want sense, and saying that, saying it directly to you without the careful framing that makes honesty feel less exposed, is something I have never done for anyone before now. Soft sigh. Oh, feel the weight of what just arrived. Not the performed version, the actual first. The specific arrived at through genuine change quality of someone saying something they have never said because they have never been the version of themselves that was capable of saying it. Who is that version now? Because of you. Through the specific and unrepeatable experience of being genuinely known by someone who had the capacity and the willingness to see the full picture. Now I want to speak to you, to the person who produced this first without knowing they were producing it, because something significant is being offered and it deserves to be received with the quality of presence that a genuine first deserves. You made this possible, not through strategy or deliberate effort or the calculated deployment of something designed to open people up. Through the simple, unglamorous, entirely unrehearsed quality of being genuinely yourself in another person's presence, of seeing them fully when full seeing is rare, of bringing the quality of attention and care that most people receive partial versions of, and that this person received from you in its complete form. That is not ordinary, is not the default quality of most human encounters, is the specific and uncommon gift of someone who is fully present, who does not withhold the quality of their seeing as a protective measure, and whose full presence produces in the people it touches something that lesser presence cannot produce, including this, including the first, including the never before said thing finding its form in someone who could not find it before you. Who receive what is coming with a specific, grounded, I know what I brought to produce, this quality of someone who understands that what is being offered is the honest result of something real they contributed, not luck, not the random circumstance of being in the right place. The specific return on the specific investment of your full and genuine presence in this person's life. The never before said thing is forming, is approaching its expression with the full, unmanaged, this is new territory quality of someone who has been changed enough by knowing you to finally say what they could not say before. And what they say when it arrives, in whatever form the first takes, will carry everything that the change produced, will be the most honest thing they have ever offered to anyone. Be there for it fully as the person who made it possible, who produced the first, simply by being completely, genuinely nothing held back themselves, and let what arrives land at the full size of what it actually is. A first, real, yours. If this reading found you today, if something here named what is forming and gave you the grounded presence to receive it fully, stay close, subscribe, and come back. Because the story of what happens when someone says the never before said thing to the person who made it possible, that is one worth witnessing all the way through. And the next reading will be there for every honest first step of what it builds into.